This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
And welcome in. We are broadcasting here live from the Culver studio. I'm Tim Melton, and we are thrilled to have you on board with another edition of Meltdown Live, a very special one in store for you today. Joining me, as always, the other half of the Meltdown, Mr. Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, welcome in. We got a chance to go to a screen unseen last night. We saw September 5th, which is what I'm choosing to call it as an American. A lot of people calling it September 5 worldwide, but I'm going September 5th. It was a great screen unseen, and we'll have our review out here very soon. We've got reviews of Juror number 2 out there, as well as Werewolves, two very different movies, Tyler.
Yes, two insanely different movies. One is a very serious drama on the American legal system, and then the other is about the moon turning people into werewolves.
Correct. If you've seen those movies, if you have a very diverse taste like we do, then make sure you check out those spoiler reviews that are up here on the channel. Joining us once again here is Miss Emily Grace, E.G., here in studio with us, looking like a undercover cop today.
I have gotten that all day today. Spy, undercover cop. It was not intentional, but we're leaning into it today.
We hear all the time on the next round about how you're obsessed with fashion.
Yes.
Is this a fashion statement, or what is this like an actual something that's seen on a runway somewhere, or?
It was raining, pouring, cats and dogs.
Mhm.
And I said, well, I'm going to break out the hat
Right.
because I need to wash my hair. I don't wear hats often.
Okay.
This jacket is incredible. I've worn it for all my rain games. And then I said, I never really wear leggings. I'm going to get leggings.
Okay.
Kind of came together.
Well, it makes you look like you're constantly surveilling everyone in the office.
Yeah, I see I've made some people nervous today.
You have.
Unintentionally.
We're going to get into why maybe some of us are a little bit more nervous than others here in just a second. But I want to welcome in the one, the only, Jim Dunaway into the show, making his debut on Meltdown 2.0 here with us. And we are thrilled to have you, Jim. Thank you for making the time for us.
Thank you. I'll take the 3-point question, answer it myself.
Well, you know what? I'm going to back you up on something that you get hit on all the time here with. And it's a little bit of a thing that comes up now and again when you guys talk entertainment. You constantly are talking about, when it comes to music, you are more of a lyricist. You like lyrics more than you like the music. And you get bashed for this. I mean, everybody's like, how could you be that way? And I'm right there with you. I agree. The lyrics for me sell a song.
To me, it can be a great song if you never hear it even sung. If you can just read the lyrics and it moves you, then let's just put poetry to music, man. And that's what we do with my favorite artists. You don't have to be the best singer, but just tell me a story. Give me a little piece of your soul is the way I see it. I don't even like songs that are sung really by people that didn't have a part in writing them. I want to know a little piece of your life. I want to take a little piece of you along with me. And maybe we have a shared experience. Maybe we have shared a cruel summer, or maybe we filled out a blank space together.
Wow.
Only Taylor Swift? That's who you're...
No, I've got a ton of them, but the Eras tour, as we did this, Eras tour ended last night. And
Yeah.
It was emotional. It was really emotional.
Your Spotify Wrap, did you open it up and see how many minutes you've logged with Taylor Swift this year? Was she your number one artist?
She was not. This year she did not even make my top 5.
Wow.
Yeah, she did not. Zach Bryan, or the artist I used to listen to, was number 1, but before he dumped my friend, or one meeting, Bree Chicken Fry.
Y'all met at Talladega, right?
That's right. We met at Talladega, and we said goodbye at Talladega. About 90 seconds apart.
It was a brief interaction.
It's like the Eric Church song.
Yeah, but hey, it was a meeting, and I took Team Bree there, and
And you showed me the evidence you really have dumped
Yeah.
Zach Bryan,
Yeah.
because if you go to pull up his profile on Spotify,
Yeah,
all of
come on.
his music is locked off from
locked.
you being able to access
I
it.
can't even be drunk late at night and listen to Zach Bryan. So just skips over him on all the playlists on my golf course, my golf play. But I will tell you this, I had 11,937 minutes listened this past year.
Wow.
That's a little more than 8 days of straight listening to Spotify.
We were
So
talking on the show with Taylor Korn about best subscriptions that you can sign up for because that is a model that is very popular out there in consumerism. And I talked about how Spotify would be probably number one on my list of things that I just have to have. I listen to Spotify every chance I get, and I feel like you're right there and logging as many minutes as you just admitted to with Spotify. It's one of those subscriptions that I think is worth every penny. And
it would.
obviously, people can find the Meltdown and they can find the next round there on Spotify.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It would be a coin flip for me on HBO Max or Spotify. If I had to,
Really?
if I can narrow all my apps down to two, even more than Netflix or that, I think just for the catalog, the history of the HBO shows, I think I would go Max and then audio wise is Spotify without a doubt.
Your television tastes, I know movie wise, you like a little bit of the lighter fare. Does that also go to television as well? Or do you like watching some of the sinister, dark stuff that's out there on TV these days?
No, no, no. I don't absorb a lot of like Black Dubs is about as scary as I can get. There's a few jump scares in there. I'm watching it right now with Keira Knightley. I'm a Like, I used to love Law& and Order, not in its normal rotation, I would only watch it on reruns, I didn't like any of the other Law& and Orders, I like the original Law& and Order. I think it just came on at a time where I would have lunch between radio and television, so it was a good time to sit down with
Mhm.
lunch and catch an episode. I think I've seen every one of the original ones. I have watched West Wing beginning to end probably, um probably 7 times beginning to end. And Maggie will know when I get home, my wife, for those that don't know, she'll know when she walks in the door. If she can hear me listening to West Wing, she can instantly walk downstairs and say, "What went wrong today? What happened today?" Because West Wing is like a comfort food to me. If I'm doing show notes in the background,
Mm.
I have a problem with concentration, attention deficit. Um, and my doctor a long time ago, really, it was Taylor Swift. He said, I worked in a newsroom where there was a lot of noise when I'd be writing my scripts for the 5, 6, and 10. And I'm like, I can't concentrate because I didn't have my own office. I'm in the middle of a newsroom. And I'm like, I'm listening to conversations on the other end of the newsroom. I can't concentrate on my work and it's driving me crazy. It's just driving me crazy. And he was like, put in your earbuds and listen to the same soundtrack every night. And it becomes background music to you. It'll basically be white noise. And I learned every lyric to Taylor Swift at that point, and it was background noise to me. And West Wing's that way too for me when I'm
Mm.
down and out. I'll throw in little CJ, little Josh, little Sam, and I'll do my show notes in the background, and that'll just be noise on the television.
I like it. I do need you to put on your Law and Order hat though for us for the rest of the show today
Okay,
because
we got some questions.
Yes.
you and I both share a common thread in that we work daily with Tyler Johns.
Oh,
And Tyler's
I've got opinions.
Tyler's going through some stuff right now,
Are you really?
and he needs your advice
Okay.
because
Well, first of all, 2:00. Show starts at 2:00. Oh,
that's not what
you're
we're
going to
talking-
ask me questions. You just want me to go through the list.
That's not what we're talking about.
All right.
No. I think I'm going to unveil here what's going on.
Okay.
Tyler had a family member that was contacted by a police detective
Okay.
this morning that said, we need to talk to Tyler.
Oh, wow.
And
To get his side of an incident.
to get his side of an incident. And Tyler has tried to contact this detective back and has not gotten a response yet. And it's making Tyler a little jittery because he feels like, what could this be about? He's got a general timeline of when the incident took place, but he needs some strong legal advice from someone who's watched a lot of Law and Order to figure out what he should be prepared for here when he does end up making contact with this detective later today, hopefully, because I don't think he can go another 24 hours without knowing what's going on.
I can't. If he doesn't contact me by like, I don't know, 4:00 today, I'm just gonna see if the precinct's still open. I'll just pop on down
Yeah,
there.
precincts don't close, by the way, first time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 24 hours a day.
Okay.
Well, Law and Order there
You
for
can,
you.
you can
Well,
turn you can turn yourself in anytime. You got a night shift. First of all, are they wanting to question you as a witness or a person of interest? Because if you're a person of interest as an old television news reporter, then they think you did it, but they just can't say they think you did it yet. So you become a person of interest. If they're calling you a witness, they want your side of the story. That could make you a person of interest. And if you're
Either way, you're a person of
Right.
interest.
if they just
I'm an interesting person, I
no,
guess.
if they want your side of the story, that means you could have done it. So you could be person of interest, which at that point I wouldn't turn myself in without a lawyer. I'd take my mouthpiece with me, because you would not last one night in the cell block. The flip side of that, if you're just a witness, then yes, get there as quick as you can, because the people who are the persons of interest, if you are the key witness, they're looking for you too.
Oh, that's so true.
They can come rub you out.
We didn't even think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Uh,
either you're the person of interest, and I would get a lawyer and go to the 24-hour a day, open 7 days a week precinct,
okay,
or
I've tried to handle paperwork at the precinct before, and they've been closed at like 3 in the afternoon.
well, that's business. The cells are open. You can turn yourself in.
So initially, Tyler was
I
under.
don't. I think bringing Jim in on this was a bad idea.
I think Jim is a very helpful aid because you want what's best for Tyler, right?
And you've
That-
also covered a lot of these things.
Yeah, and I'm a Shelby County landowner, so if it's in Shelby County, I can bail you out.
We know a commissioner.
Yeah.
We do. We're
Yeah.
going deep here. Tyler, I do want to remind you that in the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
Ugh,
These are their stories.
dun
Dun,
dun.
dun.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Could you have memorized that? I mean, could you have relayed that by heart, you think,
I could
after
have.
having watched all those Law and Order episodes? But it is great. That's a great opening to tell.
It's a great line. And then, of course, the first scene before you get that is it's going to be usually a dead body.
Yep.
And
Ugh.
then a corny joke at the end. Yeah. Like the camera is lodged in your head. It's the murder weapon. And, well, one last close up, I guess. And then it would go
Dun, dun.
dun dun.
I feel like that's more CSI.
Yeah, that's way more CSI Miami. The
It's
dude
in
with the
the-
sunglasses.
Lenny has a cheesy line in the opening moments of Law and Order as well.
Oh, hit it, Tim.
I guess that library book's not getting returned.
I
You know, that sort of thing. That's
Yeah.
CSI. And
feel
then-
like they stole that from Law and Order.
Interesting.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Either way, we're very concerned about Tyler and his future here with the company
Yeah.
because we don't know.
We don't
what-
hire felons.
We don't know what this is going to entail, and there are people, Tyler.
We don't even know. I don't even know if I'm a witness to something or if I'm
Person of
being-
interest.
or if I'm a person of interest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
let's-
have you done anything illegal?
No, I don't. I've been telling these guys for the past like 2 hours. Unless they get detectives, looking for people for like going through a yellow light, I don't know what it would be about.
And we clarified that.
Yeah, it's not a yellow light incident. This is not a
Well, I
case
mean,
where he went through a yellow light, unless
Was
he
there like
hit
a
something.
human in the intersection when you went through the yellow light and you didn't
No,
stop?
no deer, no people, no nothing has been hit.
Okay.
I've got a little Toyota, so if anything ever got hit, it would show
Right.
on the car.
But still, it's not something you want lingering over you during the
No,
day.
no.
And he's had this lingering over him throughout the entire day now,
Yeah.
and he can't get closure on it. And so he's a little bit overwhelmed by the emotion of it. And I think you would be too. I think I would be too until you get
And
that
not
conversation.
to mention the person that they contact, not me. It's my grandmother.
Yeah.
So she is sitting at home, probably watching Law and Order,
Mhm.
just
Tweaking.
tweaking right now.
Yeah.
So
No, it's-
I really need this detective to call me back now, so that way I can give some information to
Yeah.
my grandmother and
Yeah.
also finish. The
I would
show.
agree 100%. It's just like ninth grade when this senior girl who I really had a crush on, and I was in ninth grade, and we ended up hanging out a little bit on a Saturday. All day on Monday, her boyfriend, Steve Cutler, wide receiver, or Steve, I can't remember his last name now, but Steve, the wide receiver on the football team, everybody's like, Steve's looking for you. Steve's looking for you. And at that point, I knew I wasn't a witness. I was a person of interest. And sure enough, he found me just after fourth period, and he beat the crap out of me. So,
Plot
person of
twist.
interest or witness, that's what's happening.
Plot twist here. What if the detective is Steve from your high school?
Oh, looking for you.
And he's looking for you now, and all these years later, there's that common bond there. But
By the way,
anyway.
the ass whooping, worth it.
Gotcha. All right. This is why we bring in Jim to the show here for stories like this. Tyler, you should be more motivated than ever to get your
Yeah.
legal problems behind you, but we're rooting for you. We understand today you may be a little bit tense. I think tomorrow, though, is your day. You're going to feel, once you get this conversation done.
What was his fortune yesterday? Oh, we have fortune today too. Ooh.
I don't know. What was something about you'll accomplish more if you stay focused. So
Yeah. So
Stay
today you need
focused.
that. You need to stay
You
focused.
do.
Especially
I
going
definitely
through
need to
intersections.
focus on cracking this case, Tim.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim and EG have
Prepped him.
have taken all the information I have,
Yep.
all the possible reasons
Angles.
angles, weird things on the date given to me. Which also, if I feel like if I was a person of interest, they wouldn't have told me that they need my side of the story for something.
Well, yeah.
It's,
You could be accused of something. Like if you were in the theater and
No,
Yeah,
Dunaway.
and
this
somebody
was a great idea.
It was
Tim.
Iron Bowl.
Great idea.
Iron Bowl.
what?
It was
during the Iron Bowl. The
at
incident
3
was
o'clock.
during the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
Which-
so the other person may have accused you of something, and they want your side of the story. And if you don't answer the right way, then I mean, how small are your wrist?
Okay.
They have to use the women's cuffs or the men's cuffs.
Oh my God. Okay, here's what we should do. We should, before there is an actual murder in the studio, we should play some Tim and Tim.
I
Are
think
y'all
we
ready?
should. Let's
Here we
do
go.
it.
This will be fun. I've got 10 questions. We got about 10 minutes. I want some honest answers. Much
We
like
only
the-
have 10 minutes left in the show.
no.
No.
Oh,
It's for this
10.
segment. 10 with Tim.
too fast.
Yeah, 10 with
Yeah.
Tim. But first,
Should
a
have
chat,
started it off at 2.
a chat check-in with Tyler. What you got in the chat room?
Oh, Daniel always appreciates Jim shouting out the West Wing on TNR.
Nice.
Hunter says, "Oh, that's why all the cop cars are at the apartment complex."
Yeah.
Wait, you guys live in the same apartment?
He lives in my apartment complex.
Or as we call it, Raccoon City.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that was good. Resident Evil.
Those names can stick around. So 20 years from now, we may call that area Raccoon City.
Maybe.
Let's see. Brian Pavlik says I need to get Vincent Gambini on the phone. Then I'm gonna go away from murder until he eventually gets me out at the end.
Yeah.
Um,
Plea deals are your friend at some point, right? Better to do 4 instead of 8.
I do think you should tell your attorney you do not want Jim as a character witness
no,
during
Yeah.
the
I
trial.
don't. I
Yeah,
really
you really
don't.
don't. You really don't.
Brian also says, quote, Mr. Johns, your movie going habits are alarming to say the least. They
Yeah.
are.
Fair.
They should alarm
That's true.
people. And
And how crowded
that's
are
it.
the theaters? Because you're going to need somebody to be your alibi at some point to say you didn't do it. You actually are watching this movie, so you need ticket stubs, some video,
Let me
some
see, but,
CCTV.
I actually probably do have a ticket stub for that day in question.
We'll
Yeah.
look at that at another time. I want to play some Tim with Timmy.
Let's do it.
EG's looking at me like, I'll play. Okay, here we go. I've got 10 questions. I need some honest answers. I wrote these several weeks ago. There is a little bit of overlap here with question number 1 that was not planned, and I just
Okay.
want to point that out.
Okay.
Okay.
But we're going to go to Tyler first. Tyler, have you ever served on a jury?
I have not. Ever had summons for jury duty. It looks
Okay.
like fun though.
Okay, well, there he
Yeah,
is already
unless you're,
warming up to the jury that'll be
Nicholas
deciding his
Holt.
fate. Yes, juror number 2, Clint Eastwood directed that movie, and it is it's really fun. I think Jim would actually really like juror
Oh,
number
yeah.
2, and I think EG would like juror number 2.
Look at
It's
that.
a
Most
really, it's like
definitely.
an early 90s courtroom drama. It's a nice throwback. EG, have you ever served on a jury?
Never served, but have been called.
Okay.
Yep.
Jim?
3 times I've gone
No.
down, but never made it to the jury. They call me in and they start asking you your little preliminary questions, and I'm always like the television guy, and they're like, "Nope, you're gone. Scratch.
Yep.
You're
Wow.
out."
And I assume it did not break your heart to not serve on the jury? Or
No,
did you?
no.
Okay,
I had not planned on being there long.
gotcha. Okay, next question here. Jim, what is your least favorite household chore?
In the sermon Sunday, my pastor wife said it's Christmas time, so I'm not going to name who did this, but right now in my house,
Oh no.
and keep in mind, we're empty nesters, so everyone in the congregation knew. Right now in the living
She's a
room,
person of interest.
yeah, there is a plate, a fork, and a dish sitting in a cup sitting in the sink, and a pile of dry clothes sitting in a chair in our living room right now, and it's driving me crazy. So I'm not going to name names, but I had some expectations. The sermon was on expectations that in
We're met.
26 years, this person would learn to put the dishes in the dishwasher and do his laundry initially. And occasionally I don't. So I'm okay washing and drying. I
Folding.
suck at folding. And that one little step after I clean off the dishes, putting it actually in the dishwasher and not leaving it in the sink. I'm not great at that.
So your answer is the two primary chores are
Yeah.
your least favorite chores
That's right.
to do. Okay.
Yeah. The one that makes you a good roommate or not a good roommate, I'm the bad roommate.
Tyler, what is your least favorite household chore?
Gotta go with dishes. I worked too long as a line cook and a dishwasher, and just bad memories of being there at 3 in the morning, scrubbing nacho cheese pump.
Well, that is no
sounds
fun.
nasty.
No fun. I would much rather do dishes than laundry. E.g., what's your least favorite household chore?
I hate taking out the trash.
Oh, I love taking out.
See, I love that. That's
Yeah,
That's a man's
typically
job.
that gender-wise, that typically goes to the man.
it's just like a nice walk.
Yeah, oh, you get some
a
fresh
nice
air.
walk to the trash can,
Right.
maybe a dumpster, whatever your situation is. But
Yeah.
you just enjoy the morning cool air and toss it in the dumpster.
Except for your place where you will get rabidly destroyed by raccoons.
Man, I've been
Where do you live?
spraying.
Raccoon City?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
know that place.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Tyler
where all
has
the
a
police cars are.
right. He's got a major raccoon problem.
Essential oil is in air vents, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Spray
Peppermint.
peppermint oil. You go.
And Gordon Ramsay.
And Gordon Ramsay during the day. See, raccoons are nocturnal and they don't like loud noises. So I figured Gordon Ramsay screaming on like the 24/7 Kitchen Nightmares channel would be a good play.
Although think about it, like the detective may be calling thinking a murder happened in his apartment because it's just screaming the entire time.
Huh.
And they may be thinking that you're a violent person based on the amount of loud noises coming from your
You
residence.
do have a little Dexter vibe sometimes. I'll go ahead and tell you.
All right.
The compliment is a great
Hey,
show,
he's a great blood spatter scientist.
popular character.
Brilliant mind. He's really
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it and run with it.
I'll take it where I can.
E.g., which type of pepper is your favorite? If you had to pick one type of
Ooh.
pepper to eat for the rest of your life, what are you choosing?
Love various types of pepper. Ooh. So I can't have any other type of pepper?
We're gonna go with what's your number one go-to? You're on an island. You can only have one
Cayenne
type of
pepper.
pepper. Cayenne pepper. Great choice there.
Wow.
Jim,
It's hot.
what's your favorite type of pepper?
Is
I'm is it peppercini? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pepperoncinis are good.
I like that. It comes I originally fell in love with them on the side of the pizza when it came. I believe it was Papa John's.
Mhm,
Is that it?
that is correct.
And now I have them on my salads, a side to a sandwich. There's always a jar in my house.
Do you eat them whole? Do you chop them up? How do you prefer to eat your pepper?
I love to pull them out of the jar, set them on the side of the plate. If I'm eating a salad, I'll take a bite out of them and let the juice run all over my salad. If I'm eating my pizza, I'll take a bite out of them and let the juice run all over my bread. If I'm not eating either one of those, I'll take a bite out of them and let the juice run down my throat.
I'm a big fan of the banana pepper. I think the banana pepper makes everything better.
Love it. I think the banana pepper is fantastic.
Part of the family. Tyler, your favorite type of pepper is the question.
Favorite type of pepper? I'm gonna have to go with a Thai chili. A nice sweet heat.
Very cultured.
very.
I
Here
know.
is a very wild burger you can make that is absolutely delicious. Take some Thai chili sauce, put that on the burger, put you some bacon on there, a little bit of cream cheese.
Mm,
Oh wow.
sounds
Cream
like a
cheese
really
threw
good
me
time.
for a loop.
Next question here. Have you ever, Jim, bought anything off of a TV infomercial?
Yeah.
Shake weight.
Sounds like a regret.
I didn't do shake weight. It was. Back in the old days, before there were Spotify, we had originally for me it was cassettes that I paid 1 penny and got 13. So I did that on the back of an ad, but then there was a TV commercial that gave me these reoccurring like monthly releases that had a bunch of hit songs that turns out I don't think were by the real artist, but they would go in the commercial. They would start going by like, you know, ticket to, and it'd be the Eagles, and it'd be like, hold on loosely, 38 special, and then it'd be some other
I
songs.
know
But then
exactly what you're mimicking.
Yes.
every now and then it'd be highlighted, and it'd be Sweet Home Alabama, and I was like, all that for $7.99? Sign me up.
Now that's what I call music.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that what it's called?
Well,
No.
there were some of those, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they did cassettes. They
Probably some
didn't
sort of
s-
Time Life collection, if I had
Yeah.
to guess, or something like that.
Those
but
were always tempting to me, like
yeah.
World War II, America saved the world. 4 parts right now from Time Life
Like I do need
at
that.
only $44.99.
Tyler, you ever bought anything off of a TV infomercial?
I think it might not be an infomercial, but it's definitely an infomercial style product, I guess. It's called the Ferminator.
The what?
The Ferminator.
You make
It
your
is-
own beer?
What's that?
You make your own beer?
No.
Oh,
No, it is it's a brush for dogs that works really, really well. And I used to have a German Shepherd who had a very bad shedding problem,
Mm.
and
so it
needed-
sucks the hair as you comb?
kind of.
That's pretty cool.
Why
It's
don't you
just-
tell me what it does?
It's just a very good brush.
Okay.
It's the best
not
dog
selling
brush
us-
you could ever find.
I don't like the name because obviously if it had been a hit, we would have all heard of this, I think. But I don't
Right.
like the name Ferminator, but I'm sure it's awesome. And it worked for you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ferminator de-shedding tool.
Huh.
It
Okay.
looks like
Hmm.
like
oh,
a
fur
ra-
like FUR.
Yeah.
I was going like ferment.
FIR.
Like,
Yeah.
oh.
I'm going to guess 1999.
No, this was like maybe 2012. I
No.
bought this. What?
The price.
The price,
Oh, the
$19.99.
$35.
Okay.
wow.
All right. Okay. got it.
Inflation.
This is
All the
a-
infomercials used to be $19.99.
if you've got a big dog with like an undercoat, this is what helps with that. It like pulls up and pulls out that undercoat.
How old would you have been in 1999?
I guess that was the year I was born. So
I
depends on what part.
Yeah,
I ordered that off the infomercial there at that age. I would have been very impressed.
it was a joke. $19.99 was the price of everything, and
The
all
shipping
and
and
every
handling.
infomercial was also. But wait, there's more.
But
That is
wait,
correct.
And,
Just
and
when you think you're going to turn
$8.95
away.
shipping and handling.
That's where they got you.
I bought a Jack LaLanne juicer off of an infomercial.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Did it work?
what?
Yeah, no, it worked. You didn't get a lot of juice for the amount of fruit that you had to put down the pipe there and
No.
try to juice. And it's like,
Juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
it wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't. But I really liked the infomercial and would watch it all the time. And everybody would taste the juice at 3 a.m. and be like, this is the best juice I've ever had. And I'm like, I want some fresh juice.
Yeah.
So I got the Jack LaLanne juicer and he was on there, flexing his muscles at 90 or whatever age it was. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the Jack LaLanne juicer. Haven't used it since.
Always like that guy that takes the screen door, puts that stuff on it, and uses the screen door as a boat.
oh yeah.
I don't have anything to put that stuff on, EG, but
What is that called?
Flex Seal.
Flex seal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when they would like the bucket would be pouring water and he'd like put it on his hand and
yeah,
smack it.
smack it on there.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
It solves every problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
E.g.
Tom Cruise could have gotten off the island really easy with that stuff.
Tom Hanks, but yes.
Tom Cruise too.
I was trying
Any Mission
to think.
Impossible.
I immediately thought Mission Impossible. Like
Yeah.
he's hanging on to the plane with flex tape
Well,
as it takes off.
I'll tell you what happened in my head. I was going 3-hour cruise Gilligan Island, and I realized the room didn't know what that was. So I went quickly to Tom Hanks and stuck with Tom Cruise.
you always get your movie and television descriptions at least 60% correct.
Yeah.
And then we meet you halfway basically and help get you there. E.g., ever bought anything off a TV infomercial?
Nope.
Perfect answer. Next question. For $1,000 a yard, E.g., you get $1,000 a yard. You get one chance. What's the longest field goal you think you would try to attempt?
Oh,
You get $1,000 a yard.
we did this at SEC championship. How far did that go? Does that have to go in
It has to go in.
airborne?
Has to go airborne.
Has to
yes.
go through the
Oh.
uprights.
Has to go through the uprights.
One.
So you would take the 1 yard field goal to try to get the clean $1,000.
Yeah.
I would at least go 2. Come on, EG. At least go 2 yards.
I did this on Saturday or Friday and it was not good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go one.
You actually had the distance from
I
where
just
you
didn't
were
have the
kicking.
airborne.
Yeah, and you were in the wrong shoes.
was
Your
in
shoe went
flats.
with the ball.
It did.
Tyler, $1,000 a yard. You get to pick the distance. How long of a field goal are you attempting?
I mean, I feel like I have to go for like a 50-yarder.
Oh.
I'm gonna need bail money.
That's
No, I'm
true.
just kidding. I'd go like 15.
15.
Yeah, I'd feel confident at
I
15.
feel like that extra 5 may be putting you at risk, though. Maybe go a solid 10. I don't know. I feel like you need to go up a little. I feel like you need to come down a little. Jim, what's the right
You're
spot
forgetting
here?
about my years of soccer, Tim.
That's
Oh,
true.
that
Let's
is
go kick a
true.
15-yard field goal and see if it goes in.
That is true. I just did this past week.
Yep.
So when you place the ball down at the 20, it's 30 yards. So I could do a 30-yarder.
Okay.
And I made it on the second attempt
Yeah.
with with ease.
Yeah.
It's not really a big stretch.
When I
30.
heard this question, I thought that you were like talking about like mowing yards or something.
No.
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell me how many yards we are away from a certain location. And I was going to get, I don't know, within 1,000 yards, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I was confused for a second.
$1,000 a yard.
Yeah.
What's the longest field goal you think you would attempt? Do you like the college game day field goal attempts? Because there are people who absolutely, that's their favorite part of game day.
Yeah.
And then there are some people who are like, oh, this again? This is
Yeah.
getting tiresome.
I know I enjoy it. Let's just go ahead and not pretend I'm giving. It's like never was a fan of the encore at concerts.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and tell me you're going to take a quick break, come back and play me 4 more songs or 3 more songs. Don't, back in the day we used to all sit there, one more song, or we want, whatever. And then eventually everyone comes back out, whether you're chanting or not. And I'm tired of let him try it again. When we know he's going to kick it again, just let's go ahead and say it's 2 kicks. You get 2 tries at this. Don't give him another shot.
Pretty
You're
much
going to
what it's
give him another
become.
shot.
Yeah. And if you don't get another shot, you're like, well, dang, the
Mm-hmm.
3 people before me ended up getting another shot.
Yeah.
Would you rather be friends with LeBron James or Tiger Woods if you could pick between the two?
Oh, easy. Tiger Woods.
Right.
Yeah, Tiger Woods. The access to play on those golf courses, both the ones he designed and the ones he won at. If I was single, he had some wild days with women.
Let me change
a
it
lot
here.
of money.
Let me change it here, Jim, because I think this is more fair. Would you rather be friends with Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan?
Ooh,
Because you still get some great access to golf courses with Michael Jordan, and it kind of takes that
Yeah.
angle out of it. But
Got one at his house.
yeah. I think in that situation I would go with Michael Jordan, because I respected him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Both of them were uber great. I'd like to roll around with the MJ because I think I would get a little bit of what I get with my buddy Charles Barkley. Get a little bit of that in MJ, so I'd roll with that.
you think you could bring those two guys back together?
I think I could. I
Be a-
think I
be a
could bring all
mediator?
3 of them back together.
Oh.
Because Tiger sort of shunned them both too. So
Yeah. Wow.
I'd love to give it a try.
Tyler, I'm going to stick with the original question for you. LeBron James or Tiger Woods, who would you rather be friends with?
I feel like Tiger Woods just knows how to party a lot more than LeBron does.
Got it. Okay.
I feel like he'd be a more fun friend to have.
Tyler and Tiger out on the town. That would be,
I can see LeBron more, I think.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Just depends on what era of
Yeah.
Tiger I think you got there. E.g., who would you rather be friends with, Tiger Woods or LeBron James?
Tiger.
Tiger. It's a clean sweep for Tiger
is.
in the initial question there. Just wanted to see if MJ could break through in the basketball side of this. All right, next question. E.g., describe the perfect sub sandwich.
I just had one. A nice loaf of crunchy. Well, crunchy is the right word. The bread that isn't too soft, firm bread, and then
Like a French baguette, like
Yeah.
really, really rough, hard.
yeah,
Okay.
sure. And then I like a light layer of mayonnaise and a little chipotle gourmets for a little spice. I didn't get that today. Oil and vinegar, lettuce, salt and pepper. And I can go either like some boar's head turkey or some boar's head oven gold chicken.
Ooh, oven gold is the worst. It's the devil's meat.
Oh, wow. I enjoy it. And then I
There's
have
one
to do
seasoning.
some potato chips on the side.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. There's
Didn't
one
do that.
seasoning
Toasted.
in oven gold that I can't stand. I don't know what it is. Cannot stand oven gold.
Okay.
So, Jim,
So not on his sandwich.
what's the perfect sub sandwich?
Well, I don't see how you don't start off with meat first off.
Well, I
meat
did it
was the
my
last
way.
thing you did.
I did it my way.
Yeah, well, you gotta have the
My
bread,
way
and
is the
then you got
my
the
way.
meat in it. If you
But
don't put
I
meat in
actually
it
put
first.
mayonnaise first,
Yeah.
so then I have a nice even coating,
Okay, mayonnaise, meat,
and then
and
all my
then
other
no
substances.
lettuce. I'm with you, no lettuce.
I have lettuce.
Oh, I don't like
I
lettuce.
have lettuce.
I'm gonna go with an heirloom tomato, right? I'll take some, pepperoncinis, chop them up, or some kind of pepper. Banana peppers are fine. A good pickle, like um, the Kroger or Publix has a good pickle.
Mhm.
I like the oil and vinegar. I like the salt and pepper. Well, really not a lot for me. I don't want too
Cheese?
much. I don't want to take cheese. I'll take some cheese.
Toasted?
I don't want toasted.
Get toasted.
It hurts the bread.
I'm not a toasted fan either. I think it does ruin the texture of the bread because it just you got a good thing going. Just go ahead and cash out, and then when you toast, you take your chances. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah.
Tyler, perfect sub. Describe it for me.
I'm gonna go with one that's a limited sub.
Okay. Thanksgiving sub.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Cranberry.
Toasted wheat bread. Little. They've got a bacon and cranberry relish that goes on here instead of just like pure cranberry sauce.
Right.
Then you got your smoked turkey, and then a little mayonnaise, little lettuce, and then tons of black olives because I'll put
Ew.
extra black olives on any sandwich I get. Salt and pepper, and that's it.
Can I just really quickly say that, I do 3 hours a day every day with Ryan Brown, and sometimes I don't know if it's really Ryan or if it's what's in front of his screen. As I sit here at this angle, I feel like occasionally you're reading a script, and I don't know if this is really truly what you believe or some prepared notes you have in front of you here.
No one has been tipped off
I
to the.
don't have any notes.
No one's been tipped off to the question. Tyler does monitor the stream and the chat during the
Okay.
course of the show. So
Okay.
that is what he is doing right
Okay,
now.
so that is
He's clear.
that's your true belief. Nobody prepared that sandwich for you and sent you the recipe.
No,
Because the
I
Thai
tried.
chili pepper earlier, I felt like was a little out of your league. I was like,
Mhm.
son, you don't even
Yeah.
know what Thai chili pepper looks like.
He has not been tipped off with the questions. I would
Okay.
not do that with Tim. Okay, we have just a couple more. Would you like to be in zero gravity at least once in your lifetime, Tyler? Would you like that experience of being in zero gravity?
I mean, I guess that depends if we're talking about like artificial zero gravity area or like actually going out into deep space.
Could go up into space. Maybe you're going with Jeff Bezos for a hot minute and
Oh,
you're getting up
absolutely
there.
not. No.
You would not take that
No, no
opportunity.
chance. No chance.
Okay. Jim, would you ever like to be in a zero gravity environment for once in your life?
Would love to do it. Love to do it. I, like Tyler, do not want to go into a rocket, so I would be glad to do a simulator at NASA or something
Yeah.
that could make it happen. I would love to experience that. Who
Do-
wouldn't? It'd
Me
be like
too.
flying.
Do
Me
they
too.
have those simulators? Because I feel like if they did, there would be a lot more people that.
They used to. The indoor skydiving thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's skydiving, so you got wind that's keeping you up, right?
Yeah.
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 I feel
Zero gravity, I don't know if you can do that because you're right. At some point, we would have
Yeah.
opened up. That would be a place you could go on 280.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I think they use like a lot of swimming pools and stuff like that to
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
I mean,
train their astronauts.
So I
I guess
probably
I
would.
was thinking more of like the I guess it's like a gyroscope is what they call it. The
Yeah.
big ball thing that you spin in to simulate zero gravity.
Yeah, I guess
You can go on a jet and you can go to a certain altitude.
right.
That is not space and get
It's not a rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can also do that. Would you like to do something like that? You'd be
Mhm.
up for it?
Yeah.
I would like to do it. I would gut it up and I would gut it out and
Go to
fly
space.
into space and do it for a second. I'd love to do it just to float around for a second.
We can make that the bracket challenge
Be
this year.
weightless.
Well,
We
I
should
mean,
do
if they
that.
pay for it, I would give it a shot.
nope.
I mean, a certain level of rocket, we can't let Jeff from Anniston build the rocket.
That is correct. E.g., have you ever been attacked by a stray or wild animal? Tyler,
Stray or wild animal.
the raccoons do count.
Never been attacked by any, thankfully. I'm terrified of them. No, I don't think
Okay.
I have. I make friends with all the animals I run into,
Me too.
Okay.
except for the raccoons.
I feel like he's prepping with Tim. I feel like he's prepping to talk to the detective and how confident he's going to be with his answers here during
Oh,
Tim with
boy.
Tim. I'm sorry to remind you about that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been attacked
you
by a
should be.
wild or stray animal, Jim?
I have not, but I saw my dad get attacked by a rabid squirrel one day.
No way.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Out in the yard. And he had to get the whole shots in the stomach and
Oh.
everything back then. But the squirrel actually came down a tree at him and ended up biting him on the leg.
You know, squirrels in our media, they're portrayed as being so cute and cuddly, but those
No.
things can be vicious.
They're basically rats.
Yeah.
Can I share a story that happened to our local county commissioner?
Sure.
His dog Bella got attacked by a deer, and she's fine. She's fine. But it was all on camera, and I don't mean to laugh. But Ush comes out of the house, and they have 2 dogs, and the bigger dog was, had some survival instincts. Bella did not at all, and she charges the deer, and the deer starts, trying to step on her and charge her, and you see Ush run out. "Get get get out of here!" So it's so good. Bella did almost have a near-death experience.
Now he's an elected official because he stepped up for his community
did.
at a time of need.
He did.
So Bella just laid down?
No, well, Bella, she's a tiny dog, so she was getting, pummeled by the deer.
Mm. I didn't know deer were aggressive.
Yeah, in mating season.
Aren't we all?
Oh, yikes.
This is going to be the final question of Tim with Tim, and it is a movie question. I'm going to go to Tyler last. Jim, what elements do you believe make for a great disaster movie? What do you feel like you have to have for it to be a great disaster movie where you may get hooked enough to press play on it?
Anything that we're having to defend freedom
Okay.
from a disaster, that's good. A little love interest would be good. Good soundtrack. Maybe a hero with some flaws. Maybe he worked like on an offshore oil rig and had to all of a sudden learn and train and go to space. Something like that.
So you're going with Armageddon,
And
basically.
maybe
I mean, something like that.
Aerosmith makes a song for the soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean something like that.
Yeah. Okay, Tyler, we're going to you last. E.g., what do you think makes for a great disaster movie?
I think it has to be realistic. It can't be like Sharknado, where it's like, this can't happen. I agree with you on the soundtrack, Dunaway. It also has to be set in a cloudy, rainy, dark atmosphere. Has to kind of have some
You are in that mood today if
am.
someone
Yeah.
looks at your wardrobe.
I am.
Gotham?
It has, yeah,
Place like Gotham.
yeah, kind of spooky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler, bring it home for us. What makes for a great disaster movie? What elements?
First off, you need likable characters that are relatable to the audience. They need to be able to see not only their flaws, but maybe something they can aspire to be in those characters. Then for the actual disaster, it needs to be something where you don't have to make these leaps in logic or make it difficult to wrap your head around, like a Sharknado or something like that. Take Twisters, for example. Everybody in this room has been around a tornado, knows what they look like, knows what the weather is like when it's tornado season.
Right.
So all of us are on board with that, and we know exactly how deadly they can be. So there's not a suspension of disbelief there.
Well, now we know that aliens are among us. I feel like Independence Day is aged rather well. I really like Independence
yeah.
Day. To me, that's my favorite disaster movie for sure. All right, some great answers there on 10 with Tim. I want to talk about some teeth with Tim. We encourage you to reach out and use the dental practice that we trust most, located on Grants Mill Road. That is Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, and Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental Associates, providing all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. Whether you have that nagging toothache that you need to have it looked at and you've been putting it off, or you need to get on top of those regular cleanings, they're there for you. Maybe you're new in town and you need to make sure you have a dentist on standby. Reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself, as they're accepting new patients and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205 956 8977 or visit alabamadental.com, where they look forward to seeing you. I look very forward to seeing what EG came up with in this latest Meltdown Countdown, where we're going to talk about the 5 ride-sharing observations that EG is most passionate about, starting with number 5.
Yes.
EG, you've been working on this list, and you are prepared.
I am prepared. I just gotta find where the list is.
Oh my gosh.
So you're not prepared.
It's a Meltdown Countdown with EG.
Here we go.
Meltdown Countdown
How
with
much?
EG.
Yeah.
E, E, E.
Do you have a?
Here we go.
Okay.
Different Google account. I apologize.
It's perfectly fine. You are
Phone
not fired.
profiles are the worst.
Thank you.
They are objectively the worst. They don't make anything easier.
You do a lot of traveling,
Yes.
and you have to take a lot of ride-sharing opportunities.
Unfortunately.
Dunaway, I feel like, is a maybe an expert in this field, based on just what I heard from this past weekend alone. I want to get into what your number 5 take is.
My number 5 take is don't look annoyed when Mark is not who you're picking up. I have to explain this a little bit.
What?
So, as a woman, I do not have my name as my Uber profile because I feel like that is just a safety precaution. So, it's my dad's name. And when I tell you now women drivers, it's like, oh, okay. Men get like so annoyed about it.
So I'm going to back you up
Okay.
because this past weekend in Nashville, I have my wife get in the car first.
Uh-huh.
Not only is it the courteous thing to do,
Yeah.
but also I need her to get in so I can see how much leg room I'm dealing
Yeah.
with. Okay. So she gets in there first. And every time she would get in first, the Uber driver would be annoyed, being like, "You're not Tim."
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
she would be like, "Well, he's right here.
Yeah.
I'm just getting in first." But I understand what you're talking about
Yeah.
because each and every time it was like, "You're not the guy I'm supposed to be picking up."
Right, right. And so I explain well, I don't usually get them an answer. I say, "Are you license plate number da 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 da?" "Yes." "Okay, then I'm Mark." And just leave it at that.
Well, if you're dressed like that, they're gonna believe you because you look like you could be a Mark.
Yeah. All I have to say, that really frustrates me, but I also do think it's a good safety precaution to take. If you are traveling alone, don't put your real name on your Uber profile.
Jim, is this something that has crossed your mind at any point? Obviously, women, they have a little bit of a different way to traverse the landscape
Yeah.
than we do.
Last time I was doing the Nick Saban show was 2017, and I was in College Station. It's either 17 or 18. Last time Alabama was in College Station around then, and I bumped into the guy who ran the Crimson Tide Sports Network at the Houston airport. So I was like, he had a car rented. I said, I'll just ride with you. I didn't play it forward to Sunday morning that he flew back with the team. And my ride back from College Station to Houston, I ended up not renting a car, thinking I was saving money. So I had to get an Uber. My flight was really early on Sunday morning. So I contacted an Uber outside the hotel who was dropping somebody off. It was a nice young lady. And I was like, hey, you think there'll be an Uber available at 4:00? And she was like, you're going to the airport? And I said, yes. And she says, if you pay me $100 off the grid, I will be back here to pick you up at 4:00. And I was like, okay, I'll give you the 100 when you get here. She said, it's no problem. Well, she shows up with her boyfriend and or husband, bigger dude in the passenger seat. Well, I have no problem. I'm like, it's 4 a.m, no problem. So I hop in the back seat. We start cruising to the airport. We are not on the interstate now. We're taking some country road, and she's like from Bryan, and we're not right out to the interstate the way I came. I guess I came the long way. We're in some country road. And so at that point, I'm a little scared that the boyfriend, they're taking me somewhere and I'm going to be skinned alive
Right.
and done crazy things to. So it just was,
Sounded excited when
Yeah.
you said that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
it
Let's
was,
played this out a couple of times in his head of how this is going to go down.
I made it safely, but then I understand at that moment, for that few moments we were on the dark road in the country at basically 4:30 in the morning in Texas, I thought to myself, if I was a woman, I would do anything possible to protect myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Including packing heat.
Yes.
But everything turned out okay?
I made it okay.
No chainsaws involved or
Nope.
anything? Okay. Whew.
I did eventually ask, I'm like, are we sure we're going to the airport?
Yeah. EG, let's move on to that number 4 spot if you're
Number
ready.
4. Give instructions on how to move the seats around. What I mean by this, if you have an Uber that has 4 to 5 people and you have to get in the minivan's back seat, give a courtesy, hey, pull the lever down because now we're all waiting here for 10 minutes because no one can figure out how to operate your own car. And you just sit there.
Yeah. How about you get out and just do it for me?
Well, I'm not like, I mean, maybe, but like,
The driver should get out and like,
just say,
because it's my car. I don't want you damaging my car. I'd
right.
get out and flip the seat
Yeah,
for you.
flip the seat. But that annoys me. And also, on that same vein, the configurations are sometimes as such where the passenger seat does have to be utilized. You know that going into it. So why is it like this like personal attack that someone's having to sit next to you in the Uber driver car?
Should Uber have it to where you're telling the driver how many are in your party? Why doesn't it already have that feature?
No, I agree. It should. It should be like,
Is that not?
this is going to be
part of
3
it?
people.
No, it's
Hasn't
just
been part of it with my experiences of
Oh.
like it doesn't ask you how many are
Yeah.
traveling in your party or
it's
anything like
just
that.
4 to it's like
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
You have like
you just have the range based
You have
on
the
like what
range.
Uber you select.
But
Yeah.
the driver really doesn't know, are they transporting just one person
That's
or are
right.
they transporting 3 or 4 or,
Yeah.
so
Like sometimes I forget to change that from Uber Black. and a big Suburban will come pick up, and he's like, "Where's the rest of your party?" I said, "It's just me." And he looks at me like, pretty big ego here. Absolutely. Any luggage? Nope, just me, man.
Can't
Let's
hide
roll.
money. Can't hide money.
Let's roll.
All right, let's go on to number 3 on this Meltdown countdown.
If it is cold/hot outside, have the climate correct for the passenger before they enter.
Yeah, I mean, but once again, I know people that are in just it is not dependent on what's happening outside. They always run the air or they always run the heat. I don't know if that's like a realistic expectation here,
It
EG.
may not be a realistic expectation. I know it's probably not, but nothing is worse than you're getting in an Uber and it's the middle of summer and it's like 90. It's the same temperature in the car as it is outside.
I agree with that.
The
But
winter is a little
winter's a little bit more of a
Yeah.
variable because
Okay. This weekend,
yeah,
we got in, it was pretty cold.
and he
We-
did not have the heat on.
And you turn it, and he had it on 72 in the back.
Yeah.
You turned it to 84.
Yeah.
What?
And
That is not the driver's fault, EG. There's no
72 is a
No.
reasonable
72
temperature.
is reasonable.
You turned it to 84.
Yeah, because I needed some heat after standing outside. Tell me, why were we standing
Well, I'm
outside?
just saying that. And then at some point, you were not backing off that 84 until
And-
I said, please, hey.
And-
We finally turned it
So
back down.
at any point, you also could have leaned down and went beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So, you guys had a bad rideshare experience this past weekend.
It's all
Is
my
that-
fault. It's my fault.
Can you give us the story here briefly?
Yeah, real quickly. It was just truthfully, I tried to one up Brown. We were at a hotel. We were going to Buckhead to get a steak.
If at any point he tells a lie,
I
Jack,
need a
Okay.
button.
And it was me, Brown, and EG Ubering from our hotel to this place in Buckhead to get a steak. And her boyfriend, for a long time, Mikey, was going to meet us there.
Yep.
Well, I just doing the lay of the land, I thought, well, we're in the same town as Mikey. After the steak, we're going to go somewhere together. Likely we'll all come back to the hotel, have a cocktail, laugh, joke, and then Mikey will go on his ways or whatever. So I said to Brown, who I didn't know if he knew Mikey was going to be there or not or anything. Maybe he did. They did.
You
So-
told that Mikey.
So I was like, okay, I'll get the Uber there. I'll get the Uber there. I mean, Brown, you get the Uber there. I'll get the Uber back. Full counting on Mikey driving us back to the
Counting
hotel.
on with no conversation prior.
Yeah. But I was like, I just figured Mikey would be heading back our way. I didn't think
No.
Mikey had other plans that night that he was going to ditch EG, me, and Brown.
right?
And so we get there. All of a sudden, Mikey's heading in a different direction in Atlanta. So
All
three
of
of
a
us
sudden,
are going back. And so I got to get an Uber. Well, the first thing, I pop up my Uber app. My card's expired from when I last used it in Dallas. So now I've got to sit there and re-enter it in the at the steakhouse.
Right.
Dim lighting. Even with glasses on, I couldn't see the numbers on my credit card.
You're talking about first world problems. This right here, these are all.
There
I
was
was
dim lighting in my steakhouse when I was
Yeah.
trying to order my Uber Black.
my credit card on file had expired with my magic card that was going to appear out of nowhere and take me to my destination.
So then I get Brown to read my credit card number out loud, which is great to get your identity stolen. He's like 5562, and I'm like, okay, and he's reading them all out. Expiration date, blah blah blah. Three code security code. He reads that out loud. So I enter that, and I get an Uber Black. I get us a nice Suburban for the three of us to go back, and we're 2 minutes. So we walk outside in the cold, and a Suburban pulled up, and they were like, "This isn't yours. This isn't yours." I was like, "Okay." So I went back into the lamp, and then all of a sudden, my Uber app, I keep it open the entire time, changed, and the car is no longer coming at me anymore. It's going away from me, and I'm like, God, did my card go through? Did I put in a wrong number or something?
You're thinking user error.
Yeah, it's on me, 100% on me. So I went in and I was like, trying to get back to re-enter my credit card to make sure. I couldn't figure out if it had been canceled, if he had dumped me at the last moment. That happens occasionally. And then I'm like, this thing, it will not let me order another ride. And it's because my current ride is in progress.
Mhm.
And I was like, so I text Alvin, and I'm like, Alvin, this is Jim. I'm not in the back of your car, and I don't know who you picked up. And no response from Alvin. EG quickly saying, you're getting scammed.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Hey, I'm about to, call authorities because,
Did you
I'm
say that to
You
him?
yeah,
escalated that
I
Oh
quickly.
my.
texted, I'm about to call authorities and let Uber know your 5-star rating could be in jeopardy because
Pulling out the big guns.
I'm
quick.
not in your car and I got to get another Uber." Well, I'm peer pressure here. Brown and EG is waiting in the cold. And
Now, we were happy to wait. We were not pressuring you.
you were not, but I felt like there was some talking behind my back.
There was not any
I
going
bet there
on.
was. I bet
There
I
was
still
not. There,
I'll go to my grave thinking so.
oh my. Well, there was not.
But
So
this was
Alvin
not a
calls
Jim
me.
issue. This was an Uber.
Because
Yeah.
that's what we said. We
driver
knew
issue.
it's an
Yeah.
Uber issue.
To Alvin's credit, he calls me. And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm not in the back of your car. Do you pick somebody up by accident?" He's like, "No, I'm on my way to pick you up." And I'm like, "Where do you think I am?" And he's like, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm still at the steakhouse." And he was like, "Oh, you're not at the Signia Hotel?" And I was like, "No, you were picking me up in Buckhead, taking me to the Signia Hotel." And he was like, "Well, just cancel the ride." And I was like, "Okay." So I canceled the ride, but I'm still $48 out. So then I challenged Uber and I need to check and see if I won my challenge.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. Let us know how that turned out for you. But yeah, you definitely
Felt like I was being scammed.
So how'd you guys get back?
I got another
Uber.
Brown actually got the other Uber and I gave him cash.
So he's the hero of the story somehow,
I
even
gave
though
him cash.
Right.
Somehow.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't an Uber Black, it wasn't a Suburban.
Gotcha.
It was a Corona.
See,
Right.
if the customer
Corolla.
cancels, whether it's an Uber Eats order or an Uber rideshare, the driver still gets the money
Mm.
because it's not on them that
Oh.
that it was
So
a cancellation.
Oh.
So that could have been the plan the whole time. Drive in the wrong direction, you cancel, he
Wow.
still gets paid
Mm.
because he's driving
So
to go get you.
I was. This reminds me of in Nashville this past weekend. I get in the car and the driver canceled the ride while I was in the car
Oh
and said,
no.
and we're in a sketchy part of town, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, Tim, but I just canceled your ride by accident on my phone. I was hitting the wrong, I hit the wrong
So
button
get
and canceled
out?
your ride." And I was like, "So what does that mean?" I'm thinking he's about to kick me and my
Yeah.
wife out here in what is a very much off Broadway type of situation. And he was like, "I don't know what that means." And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, I'm just gonna have to pay him cash. He probably does this all the time as some way to like get a little extra bump. But then he's like, "No, I'm sorry. I just hit a button. It reactivated it. So you're good." And I was like, "Okay, so this wasn't a scam. It was a genuine misclick there." But, when you're in these situations with these ride shares, you do feel like you have no control over really anything with your own human body.
Yeah. I will tell you that in Los Angeles, leaving the Elite Eight with Alabama on their way to the Final Four, I didn't have EG or Little T with me. I was by myself solo. And so I took the Uber from the airport to the team hotel. Well, when I was leaving that next morning after Alabama had punched their ticket to the Final Four, I was like, well, it cost me on the Uber $120 to get from the
Oh.
airport to where I was going. I said, I'm just going to roll it with the taxi because they're in line sitting there. Why wait? And these guys are professionals. So I went with the taxi, old school taxi, like it was 1977. And it was $105. It was actually $15 cheaper than Uber with a professional driver. And he got my luggage in and out. And now it wasn't a nice Suburban. It was a taxi cab, but it worked.
Got the job done.
Yep.
I was hassled by taxi drivers while waiting for my Uber constantly. They would pull up and start yelling at me, "Get in, get in, get in." And I'm like, "No, I got an Uber on the way." Obviously, they hate Uber,
They do.
and I understand why. EG, let's move on to the next point on your list here. I believe we're at number 2 now.
Number
Oh, I thought that was it.
no.
No, we got 2
No,
more.
no, no. We are still going. Number 2 is smell test weekly should take place in all Uber driver vehicles. I don't know how you implement this, but the smells that I have smelled in Ubers are outlandish.
Forrester was talking about one of the rides you guys went
In
on.
Dallas.
Yeah, we were all together.
And it was in a minivan.
Yep.
And it smelled like someone had died, and then I described it as was taxidermied in the same vehicle.
Yeah, yeah. Like we had one ride that smelled like a zoo,
Yeah.
and then there was another ride that smelled like that. You're exactly
Yeah.
like it was the morgue.
It was the morgue.
was
It
the
smelled
morgue.
like the morgue.
Yeah,
It
like
was
Dexter.
horrible.
Yeah,
It's a callback.
Dexter's van.
Yeah.
It was, and I feel like, and the one that we had, going back to the hotel, one, he ran the red light so bad that I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we
Like
both
we're
look we look both ways like
we're about to get
yeah,
T-boned. Like it was so bad.
scene of a movie.
And it smelled like weed, and that is my least favorite smell in
Yeah.
the world.
My driver pulled us into the median of an intersection
No.
because the traffic had backed up, but you're supposed to wait at the light until the traffic is clear so you can go. So she pulled in and she was blaring Smash Mouth the entire time. The entire ride from the hotel to downtown was all Smash Mouth, and I had no idea that Smash Mouth had as many songs
That's
as
And
what I
you
heard
said it
there.
wasn't even the ones
No.
from Shrek, and they
No.
had like 2 or 3 in Shrek.
No, this was deep cut Smash
oh
Mouth,
no.
Wow.
and I was shocked by that. And I thought I'm going to die to Smash Mouth, and that's going to be my story. That's
Yeah.
how it ends.
Can we do a fun activity after I do my number one?
Sure.
Okay, so my number one is there should be an option to request a gender for a ride. Very
So
hot
You
take.
want only female drivers?
Not all, but at times I think that there should be a
Female drivers are hot guys? I mean, how are you gonna cut it off?
what?
I just don't understand why
You don't understand
genders,
why a woman would
female
want a female driver
Yeah, but
at
you said
4
not at
a.m.
all
going to the
times.
airport?
Not at all times.
Well, I'm saying you don't have like if you set it to gender specific once, you don't have to do it like you can take that off. Like
Yeah.
it's not permanent.
Let me ask
So
though.
if it's middle of the day, you'd be okay with a guy.
No, I'm saying that if I have an Uber account and at whatever point I decide or I'm getting an Uber for someone else and it does not matter, then yes, you can turn it off.
But think about logistically
Yeah.
how that would work
It
because
wouldn't.
let's say there's, 4 female drivers out there currently working and they all have passengers. Uber wants to get you in an Uber. They don't want you
Exactly.
going to another group or whatever. They don't want you to go into Lyft or they don't want you taking a taxi.
Mhm.
So doesn't it hurt their business model to not provide you the quickest available?
It would.
And the flip side, what if creepy guy is requesting Uber girl
Exactly.
driver?
That-
Now
that's-
she is in problem. She's in
That
trouble.
was
That is
my
correct.
caveat was then it would work both ways. I'm not exactly sure the solution, but I do think there are times that me and my friends have canceled an Uber because off of the vibes
Yes.
of like no actually.
I think your concerns are warranted.
Yes, but the
I agree.
The
solution
solution is tricky because for every solution that you throw out there is
Right.
this is a fix all, like Jim said, you could be luring
scary
some
people.
female worker to,
Yes.
becoming a victim. So
You need chicken fingers.
On-
Yes.
Other
You need a guy
countries
in each
have
town.
like women only train cars and subway cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes sense for those modes of transportation. I'm just not sure how it would translate to Uber, other
I
than
know.
like long wait times.
Let's do our activity. I want you all to pull up your Uber app. Do you have your Uber app?
I have my Uber app.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lance Taylor, he plays a factor in this. I had a 5-star passenger rating on Uber. I was very proud of that. In Dallas, I get an Uber with him and Maddie, and he makes the Uber stop at the CVS, and the Uber driver did not want to stop at the CVS, and my rating went down from 5 stars to 4.9. And I'm very mad about it. But I want to see what y'all's passenger ratings are.
I'm a 4.93.
Wow.
I'm a 5, but I can't see like individual reviews.
Yeah, so you're a 5-star passenger?
I guess so, yeah.
Wow.
I'm a 5-star passenger.
That is awesome. I'm proud of all of us.
And I just get in the car and have my phone on and
Do you guys prefer talkative Uber drivers
No.
or
No.
you know what I find to be the worst? It's not the talkative ones, it's not the quiet ones, it's the ones that want to play both.
Yeah, that's like
Where it's like very talkative at the beginning, then super quiet, then wants to get talkative again, then quiet, then wants to be talkative again. It's like just
shut up.
pick one of the two
Yeah.
personality types and go with it.
And also, I don't like the Uber drivers that ask me all the details about what I'm about to go do or why are you here?
Why are you here? Where are you from?
Yeah,
And they
no.
think that helps them, but really it's like
I don't want you to know what I'm
how
doing.
often do you get fake answers? Like
Oh, every
90%
time.
of the time? Yeah.
Every time.
Anyway, it's not a perfect system, but I do like the fact that you're not as dependent on your own mode of transportation and in these major cities, and you're not as reliant on parking, where that can be
Yes.
really pricey, really inconvenient, and you feel like you literally can get picked up from anywhere. It's a great idea that will, I hope, get more and more refined
Mhm.
for the consumer experience and for the driver
Agreed.
experience.
Agreed.
So that's all good. Okay, we're here in the final few moments. Oh, you
By the way, I just checked. Uber refunded my money. I did not have to pay anything.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Well, great. I am ready now for our final few moments of today's meltdown, and it ends with another edition of Fine Tuned Fortune This is where EG has her 4 fortune cookies.
Yes, I do.
One will represent each of us, and this will give us, hopefully, some guidance on where we go with our life from here.
I have a new signal for EG. What does this mean, EG?
I can't see.
I don't have my glasses. Who's gonna read them for me?
I do.
EG reads all of them.
Very
Here's
good.
the lineup. Flower.
I have a bar trick where I can predict whose fortune belongs to who, and you will find some significance to your fortune specifically.
Can I get one of the ones that's not stale this time?
I don't know for a fact, but I'm telling you right now that second one right there is Tyler's. So let's go ahead and open that up. Why do
Okay,
you?
so I
you
always
this
I do it every time.
The
every
segment
time.
works the same way.
I
and
know.
You
I toss it.
toss him the cookie after you get the fortune
I
out,
have to
so
do
that way.
sanitary.
But Tyler, I want you to tell me why this fortune makes sense for your life here. Okay. EG, no rush on this. It's just the whole world is waiting.
You could prosper in the field of entertainment.
Oh, well, that's lovely. That's
I think
lovely.
she emphasized "could" a little bit too dramatically.
I agree. It was a bad read,
She
but
should have
I'll
You
take
could
the
prosper
prosper.
in the field of entertainment.
now put the emphasis on prosper this time.
You could prosper in the field of entertainment.
Oh, that
See,
sounds nice.
Now, Tyler, that's a great one for you because how often are you at the movie theater? I mean, legitimately.
Just about every day. I'm
It
going
just-
back tonight. I don't
See?
even
There
know
we
what
go.
I'm gonna see yet.
See, there we go.
Look at that.
He
Okay.
could prosper. All right. So the one on the far right there, that one is going to be yours, EG.
This is a deformed cookie.
That is by far your fortune. Like it's going to ring so true. You don't have to be sanitary because you can.
It's my own.
It's your own.
I'm not a germaphobe when you get to mine. You can roll it on the floor.
It's like an inverted cookie.
It's an innie, not an outie.
Oh my goodness. You find beauty in ordinary things. Appreciate this gift.
She really does.
Is that
Wow.
not perfect for EG?
Wow.
Like, let's look at it. If I would have given that one to EG and that one to Tyler, it would have been like, no, those need to be reversed.
Yeah.
Like, so far, I'm 2 for 2.
You really are. And it is so true because she was talking how much she enjoys spending time with Tyler over the weekend. So
There was a second fortune in my cookie.
What?
Okay?
Treat yourself to a special time this coming weekend.
In prison,
Wait.
in the
Wow.
in the clink.
Speaking of, I'm getting the call now.
No,
Is that really the
no
detective?
way.
Yes.
You step out.
Yeah.
Just put it on me. Leave it on me. You go take the call. He put the fortune cookie in his mouth before taking the call.
let's take it on the air.
Oh.
I mean, this is
cinema.
this is big. So this has been put on me now. I am the sole one on the camera.
I can probably go behind there.
You probably
Yeah, I can.
could, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave it on
Okay.
me, and we're going to hope that Tyler hopefully comes back at some point because we're just flying here with this angle. So, for those that are just joining us, Tyler's family was contacted by the authorities today, a detective here locally, that needed to speak with Tyler about an incident that took place in November. And Jim provided some legal advice for Tyler.
Who did?
And Tyler is now getting the call from the detective to try to figure out what this is.
This is big.
If Tyler doesn't come back,
I can.
you're gonna have to
Yeah.
have to go over there. But if he does come back and he's not willing to talk about whatever it is, because he's been very transparent thus far,
We'll cut to.
we're just gonna have to end the stream and hope that Tyler is not putting our lives at risk. So I remind me where those were before we pick here, because the next one's gonna be mine, and it's going to be. I had it figured out. I think it's that one's mine. That one's
Okay.
mine. Yeah, read it.
I had a good fortune cookie.
My gosh. Tyler talking with the authorities here live on the stream.
Keep up the good work. You will be rewarded within the month.
There we have it.
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
Meltdown 3.0.
Well, it depends if Tyler goes away to prison. How was the cookie? Did you eat the cookie? You
Yeah.
haven't gotten your cookie
I haven't
yet.
gotten mine
This
yet.
is
Sorry.
this is Dunaway's.
I'm not going to eat that cookie. That's not a good cookie. All right, this one's for Dunaway.
And I can almost extract it without even having to break the cookie.
Please
Okay.
break it. Makes me feel closer, like part of the team.
You will be called upon to help a friend in trouble.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding.
Am I gonna have to
Character
post bail?
witness. You will be called upon to help a friend in trouble.
Did I go 4 for 4?
You went
What?
4 for 4.
That is amazing. You're not making this
I'm
up.
not making this up. You will be
Give that
called
to me.
upon. Examine.
Jim, read this.
Do you want
Make
the
sure it's
cookie?
correct. I'll
Do you
read
want
it.
the
have my
cookie?
glasses.
Sure. You will be called upon to help a friend in
Oh.
trouble. This is amazing that
This
this is
is
Jim's pull.
This is.
My gosh.
And if you know anything about me, I would love that. I love to help people.
Yeah.
Hunter says no way in the chat.
Yes way.
I promise you that's exactly what it says.
I mean,
I told you guys that I have a
Sixth
sixth sense on fortune cookies and who they belong to. And this fine-tuned fortune has never gotten more fine-tuned than what we just experienced.
wait, Hunter, Busty's saying a fortune cookie fight? Hell yes, that's funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
All right. So here we are.
Lionel getting in trouble for fraud in Bibb County related to his telegrams.
Very possible there.
Can I super chat Tyler's bail money?
We're going to have to keep you updated on that. Tyler has been, Jim, very concerned all day long about this.
This is taking longer than I wanted it to.
I mean, I'm just curious. Can you have a visual on him over there? Here, I can do the
Better not
board. I
see
did the
them.
board already.
You could do the board. Go do the board over there, and we'll continue the show here. You know, I feel bad for Tyler because he's been so nervous about. That's why I didn't want to send you over there. EG knocking things down.
Okay.
EG drops a lot of things here in the Culver studio, Jim, and it's the
She ever-
buttons.
She ever spilt red Powerade onto the white cushion?
She has never done that. Tyler spilt cranberry sauce from one of those Thanksgiving subs onto the ground.
Oh, that was bad.
Yes. EG, do you feel comfortable with what you're doing? Because you're just over there, from what I can tell, hitting buttons, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Feel
no, yeah.
good?
I'm just getting we're now looking at my old spot.
Okay, good. Well, that doesn't help us here.
No.
Looking at your old.
I don't know how to do super source, so I can just flick in between you and Dunaway.
Excellent. This works perfect.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there?
Well, there's
camera
a
on you?
super source button, but I don't remember which button it is. Let me hit 4 just to see what happens. Oh, it's me.
Oh
Okay,
my
perfect.
gosh.
So we
Okay.
won't do super source. We'll just do this.
Excellent. So now
Okay.
you know where everything goes.
Yeah.
We want to remind you where to go. That is MyBookie at mybookie.ag. You can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Plenty of opportunities to cash out and win, or let it ride at MyBookie. They've got that casino there for you with that blackjack that everybody loves. Make sure you join the MyBookie family for daily odds boosts, same game parlays, and super contests. And make sure you use that promo code next round. Bet and play absolutely anything, anytime, anywhere, only with our friends at MyBookie. Jim, how's your experience been on Meltdown 2.0 today? Because
It's been fantastic. It's my first time on Meltdown 2.0. If you're a big casino fan at Next Round, do Next Round Casino is the code to get even more money. Next Round Casino.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of deals there with MyBookie. So many different things here to get into, including, I mean, everyone's still sort of processing that Alabama is not in the college football playoff. Have you made peace with it? At what point did you feel in your heart that that was not going to be the case, that they were going to be left out in the cold?
I think I said it all last week before the game that I think I was the only one on the show. Others will come back and try to take credit, but I think I said all along that if SMU did not win, Alabama would be out, regardless of score. Then I thought to myself when it was 24-7, I said, well, I guess technically, if this thing ends up 48-7, that may help Alabama. But I always thought SMU would be in, judged as a 1-loss team versus a 3-loss team, not penalizing them for being in the championship game. So I'm not upset about it at all. It's exactly, I would have done that as well. Not that I don't think Alabama could beat a couple of teams in there, but I also think Alabama could lose to a couple of teams in there. Alabama's program, you're too proud of a program to bitch and moan about a 3-loss season, begging your way into a playoff. Alabama's better at that.
There's a lot of people excited to see how the playoff ends up working itself out, just from a college football fan perspective. Do you like the field right now? I know you were very much championing that thought of having that extra SEC team in there because you want to see best on best at every single point. But do you feel like it's going to provide for tremendous success in its first year, television rating wise and matchup wise? Or do you think we're going to end up in a situation where we've ended up in a lot of the playoff sort of scenarios where you have a lot of lopsided blowout games?
I think you've set yourself up for some blowouts. I think there's potential for Notre Dame to beat Indiana badly. I really think there's a chance Texas could beat Clemson badly. I think Penn State could beat SMU badly. And then when you get to the next round is when I'm really concerned.
Yeah.
Winner versus Boise, winner versus Arizona State. I think there's really chances for blowouts in that next round, which is why you got to change the bye process. You can stomach buys blowouts in the first round. Second round, you should not be having any blowouts like that.
You guys on the next round will be covering it each and every step of the way, and I'm looking forward to all the conversation that comes up here from the playoff. Now, Tyler is back here with us. Tyler, just a quick question for you. Are you okay? That's the first question I think we all have for you.
I am, and now my I think I lost the little bit of evidence that I needed to send to the guy.
Oh,
What?
gosh.
Oh, because you needed to be
gosh.
in the theater?
No,
It's a
it's a whole thing.
convoluted story.
So I was running deliveries, and someone sees me walking around the side. I was told to drop it off at their side porch. That was apparently suspicious, and that's what all of this is about.
Oh.
So you are a person of interest. Jim was right.
Yeah, a person of interest for doing my job. This
Yeah.
is
Wow.
Okay, so here's what we're
Alright.
going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to regroup.
Yep.
We're all rooting for you. We're going to get it all right here. So what we're going to do is say goodbye to everybody. We're going to work this out. I will say that Jim got the fortune you will be called upon to help a friend in trouble. And that is a legitimate fortune. And I think that we're all in your corner. We're going to work
Yes.
this out.
Are we dealing with Jefferson or Shelby County here?
probably Jefferson, I assume, because it's a bunch of nonsense.
Okay. Well, we'll get it figured out. Literal meltdown here on the studio. This thing has so many twists and turns. We'll be back tomorrow, 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern. We appreciate your likes and your subscriptions, and we'll start a GoFundMe for the bail money for sure. Right here on the Meltdown. We'll see you again tomorrow.